your mic turned on?
I
There
just
it
turned
is.
it off.
Oh, you turned it off? Okay. And Michelle is here, so I guess we can start. Should we call the meeting to order? So we'll call the October 22nd meeting of the Arts Committee to order. The first item of business is the minutes of the October 12th meeting.
And I just sent those out to you all, so I don't know if you've had a chance to review them. If you haven't, we could wait and you could approve them at your next meeting along with this set of minutes.
I just read them and I can approve them. Or can I approve them if I wasn't there?
Yes, you still can.
Okay.
So Meg moves to approve. Anybody want a second?
This is Katie. I'll second.
Oh, hi, Katie. I didn't even notice you were on the call.
So we have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Hi.
Opposed? Okay, the motion carries. So the minutes have been approved. The next item is update Arts Committee member Megan Mackey. Is Megan on the call yet?
She is, and I didn't include this on the last agenda because she wasn't going to be on the call, but Megan has an announcement that she would like to make to the committee.
Yes, can you hear me?
There you are. Now we can see you.
Yes, my announcement is that my family is moving to Baraboo in the spring. So I will be leaving the Arts Committee, sadly, after 10 years. So I guess we can talk about when that should happen so that we can get somebody really great on, start recruiting. Anybody have any ideas? I could continue to attend as a citizen, just be a fly on the wall, or I could stay on as an actual member for a while. I'm happy to do either. Does anybody have any ideas about what would be more tactical for the committee?
I think your term officially goes through spring of next year, although you've always been reappointed to a new term each time. But I guess just my preference would be that you stay on until the end of your term, but I'll defer to the committee.
I would prefer that too. Because you won't be living in Middleton, I guess it's probably not legal for you to continue as a member. Is that true, Abby?
It's unlikely that the mayor would appoint somebody who is not a city resident to the committee. So once it came time for her term to be up and a new term to start, I don't think the mayor wants committee members to be city residents, which, you know, Megan, you kind of pointed that out too. But I think that you should stay on as long as you continue to live in Middleton.
Okay, well, should we put the word out that there will be an opening to try so that we don't have a quorum issue or anything like that when the spring comes?
Yeah, actually there will, so the city clerk beginning in around February will begin advertising spots that are open on committees. And she just advertises them all now that we have this new process that our mayor likes to interview all the committee members, even the current committee members. So she will go ahead and advertise it all regardless. I just quickly looked up your term and it does end in 2021 in the spring. So if you stayed on through the end of the April meeting, you would finish out your whole term before you moved out of the city. And then that's the time that like we have the changeover anyway, where we bring in new members, elections and all that. So
Perfect.
that would make sense.
Yeah.
And then because you've been on the committee for so long, you'll get recognized at a city council meeting. Hopefully it'll be in person by then, and you'll get a little gift from the city. It's probably going to be a clock. Spoiler alert. We do like a little clock for people once they've been on for 10 years or more.
Everybody can use a clock.
Yeah, absolutely.
Megan, do you work with anyone that you would recommend in the area?
Let me think about that. Off the top of my head, I can't think of any Middleton residents that spring to mind.
Mm-hmm.
I'll definitely think about it, and everyone else think about it too, because I'd like to get somebody who's really involved
Yeah. I just like you're the only one in the committee that has your background. So it's nice to have that like maintenance perspective. So not that we can choose who's on the committee, but it would be awesome if somebody on the committee knew what they were talking about.
Well, I'm just a phone call away, so.
That's true. That's a good point. We could always just call you like, hey,
Sure.
what do
Sure.
we need to do? This sign is rusting.
Yep.
Megan, do you want to share anything about the place you've bought in Baraboo?
Oh, yes. The reason we're moving to Baraboo is so that my husband can take a job at the hospital there and get rid of his commute. He's got quite a long commute. So it's going to be a big change for us because right now he's driving 2.5 hours each day to Platteville.
Oh, wow.
And we went and we looked for a home, and we really loved the downtown area, and we loved the historic homes around the downtown area, but we couldn't find any that were available and big enough for a family, except for one that has been completely gutted down to the studs. It's in a great location on a corner lot, 2 blocks from downtown square, and we bought it and we're going to renovate it, which will take 2 years, we think.
Will it be livable by the time you're ready to move there?
No, we're going to be living in an interim house for probably 2 years before we can move into this house. We're pretty excited because we found an architect who is based in Madison, but has done a lot of work in Baraboo, including renovating the Al Ringling Theater, which is just 2 blocks from the house. So he knows a lot of people in the area. He knows the contractors. He focuses on historic renovations. So it could
Who
be
is it?
exciting. Yeah.
Can you tell us who the architect is?
His name is Peter Rote, and the architecture firm is Isthmus Architects on the east side. They've done a lot of stuff with state buildings and university buildings, and got a great website if you're curious.
Awesome.
See. So I know.
Sounds like you need an HGTV show about it.
Yeah, like this old house.
Yeah.
So, and a marriage counselor.
Yes, after remodeling a house, if your marriage can survive that, then
Yeah.
it can survive anything.
So we're pretty excited about it, and the kids are being good sports. So they're not thrilled, but they're being supportive with their lack of complaints.
That's good.
Rats.
Okay, so we don't need any motion or anything. The consensus is that Megan will continue until her term expires next year. That seem
And
reasonable?
I'll give the mayor a heads up to let him know that he'll need to replace her, and that the arts committee would love to have somebody that has a conservation background if we can find anyone.
Can you lobby him to keep Megan on the committee?
Well, he wouldn't be able to kick her off. You can't kick somebody off in the middle of their term.
No, but I mean to renew her.
Oh, if she
I'll be,
wants,
I'll be available. I think it's better to have someone who's full-time resident. I'm always just a phone call away, so.
Okay, sounds good. Should we move on to the next agenda item? Oh yeah, studio design selection for Love Your Neighbor mural.
yep. So this is the main topic tonight. At the last meeting, you guys had asked that they add at least 1 star element so that it doesn't have a biblical feel to the mural design with just the single star. And then we also discussed ways in which we could bring in the Downtown Middleton Business Association's logo or some element of the logo. They said that they played around with it and they couldn't come up with a way to do that. And so instead they're suggesting the text below, which just my own staff preference would be that we don't include this text below at all, because I think it makes the project less of a mural and more of a sign, which I don't know if you guys subscribe to the Middleton review, but George Zenz had weighed in on that a couple of times, that he felt that this was a sign and it wasn't a mural, and he had some negative comments about the project and the design. Mm-hmm. Also, we did have at least 1 plan commissioner who was really concerned that this looked more like a sign than a mural. And the city has regulations regarding signs. And when I went back and reviewed the sign ordinance, it does appear that this could, the way that it's written, this and even the Dama mural, actually, even though it has no text, would probably meet the definition of signage. And so we're looking at revising our sign ordinance to make sure that we're exempting public art projects. But for the time being, I would strongly recommend that we not include the brought to you by downtown Middleton language.
I second that.
Yeah, me too.
So
Has
Meg,
Brewer seen this?
sorry?
Has Brewer seen this revision?
I don't think he has.
Is
So
the background color that color because it matches the Middleton colors?
The background is just the current color of the building. So
Oh, okay.
within the budget of the design, they said that they couldn't repaint the background and stay within our budget.
So Meg, did you make a motion to accept it as it is without the brought to you by downtown Middleton text below?
I can do that.
Okay,
Do I need to verbalize that?
was that?
Do I need to
No, no,
verbalize
no,
it?
no,
Okay.
no. So Meg has a motion to, and anybody want a second Meg's motion to accept it without the yellow text below?
I second it.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
I,
So we have one opposed.
yeah, I did, Katie. I think it was Christina who was talking about the star at the L of the love last time. I was trying to put my fingers over all of the bigger stars and just wondering if the little guys would just look better. I don't know why that's bothering me. I think it's still that Christmas thing.
Mm. I think it's part of the logo, right? Is a Roman candle star.
Yeah, but there are little ones here and there. I don't know why. So it's no big deal. I got outvoted. It's all right.
Anyone else opposed to the stars?
I do agree that it looks a little Christmassy.
But you know, that kind of adds a little cheerfulness to it. I think it would look flat without the stars.
Yes.
Yeah. I like the
I
small
think also
dots
the
and the
color
small
that
stars.
it's gold. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so, Abby, with brought to you by downtown Middleton gone, then the letters get bigger, as in option number one of the three that we had before, correct?
Yeah, I would think that they would go back to the larger letters, or at the very least, they would need to slightly shift the lettering down in order for it to be
Yeah,
symmetric with that band.
yeah, that would help.
So there will be no mention of Middleton at all.
Yeah.
It would just
What
say
if we
love
add
your
it to a
neighbor.
plaque? What if we have a plaque around there that has all the Middleton information the way we do with the other artwork?
What
Yeah,
if
we
it
could
just
add a
said-
plaque.
What if it just said downtown Middleton and we got rid of the brought to you by? Would that be acceptable? Would it solve the problem without taking it too far into signage, do you think?
Or what if it said something like Middleton, the good neighbor city, or something like that underneath it?
That's a good idea. Although, again, I think Abby's complaint that it would still look more like signage might still hold.
Yeah.
So what should we do?
Abby, are you saying that you think that if we got rid of brought to you by downtown Middleton, it would still cause a problem with the signage rules?
The plan commission approved the design, so we're okay there. But I subsequently got an email from one of our commissioners the day after the design was approved. And he expressed concern and said that he voted for it, but he felt like maybe he should have voted against it because he doesn't think that it complies with the city's sign requirements. So we only allow, like for a facade, we allow one wall sign, and it can only be 1 square foot per lineal foot of the building. So if the building's 20 feet long, they get 20 square feet of wall signage. And, you know, I didn't in any way view this as needing to go through the sign requirements, but I think that the reason that the question came up in his mind is because it was mostly text and not that much graphics.
Right.
This never came up when like Chocolatarian Cafe got their mural approved, and that does have text on it. It also has graphics. And then it didn't come up during the Dama mural design review process by the Plan Commission either. And actually, if you read the sign ordinance and the strict interpretation of it, whether the element is text or graphic, it does not matter. It says, it has some language in there about if it's intended to draw attention or draw the eye, then it's signage basically. And so I don't think that this is any less or any more of a sign than the Dama mural is. But I felt that when you add the "brought to you by Downtown Middleton," I mean, you can just hear that in like a commercial or something, like it sounds very commercial in nature. So that's what made me nervous about it.
Now, there is a bit of, I think, are we under time pressure to get this approved so they can do it before it gets too cold?
Yes, so that's why I scheduled this meeting, because if we don't approve it this week, they probably can't do it this year. And then we're gonna be looking at using next year's budget instead of this year's budget. They said that they think that there's a window in the weather. This week wouldn't have been good for it anyway. But I think they said that they had looked ahead, and I haven't. But they thought that next week, and it looks like it might be later next week, at least according to the current projections, that it would be warm enough that they could paint it and it would be dry, and you know, because it's gonna snow potentially like Sunday and Monday, but then later next week, I think it looks like it might clear off and they could paint it still.
So what
Well,
shall
is
we,
the problem the text in general? Like if we did do something like Middleton, the good neighbor city underneath, would that be more acceptable than the "brought to you by"? Is that?
I don't think, well, sorry.
I missed the meeting, so I'm trying to play catch up a little bit, but I thought when I first read it that "brought to you by Downtown Middleton" meant that like the Downtown Middleton Businesses Association paid for it. Like in my mind, that's what I read into it. So I was really confused. I had to email Abby to be like, did I miss something? What happened? But I just opened up the original design mock-up 1. And it doesn't have all those stars. So Katie, were you saying that you like the version without the stars better because it's less Christmassy?
I think so, but
Okay.
that's, I mean, I was just one vote, so don't go on my thing. It's just, I think that Christina was also saying like that the 1 star last time just at the L was a little biblical looking.
Didn't we
so-
instruct them to put more stars in it?
Yeah, we said
Mhm.
previously just had the 1 star over the L, and we said that 1 was very biblical, so we asked them to add more to distract from it.
Yeah,
But now, Katie, is it you don't like it as much now that there are more, or you're still saying that having more has not fixed the original problem?
I think the bigger ones to my eye still keep the problem, but if that doesn't bother everybody else, then that's totally cool.
This is the original.
I like that one.
I like the new one better. This one looks too plain. I like that one better.
I do too, but I'm not fond of the brought to you by downtown Middleton.
Exactly. I mean, if we remove, see, I think if you remove the yellow text, I think this version's better than the previous one. So what shall
I
we do?
like the other one. I
I
think
like-
they're both okay, but I like the other one better.
I like the first one better too. It's more simplistic.
I think I do too.
I mean, this is more like a bold statement. The second one is more of a, I don't know, there's something a little more lighthearted about it, I think. This almost should have an exclamation point at the end of it.
I know Brewer really liked the stars when we met with him. When Megan and I met with him, he was very fond of that. So
The one on the first or the second option?
the first was his this option was his favorite.
Yeah.
um,
I kind of like how they sort of run off the wall.
mhm.
I think this one's more effective graphically. The other one's kind of busy,
Mhm.
even if you get rid of the brought to you by part.
Mhm.
So
So we need a motion.
exactly.
Well, you guys already approved the other one only without the brought to you by, but you could make a new motion instead to approve to, let's see, to void the previous recommendation and instead go with this new option. I mean, instead go with the original option if you wanted to do that.
Mhm.
Should we have a vote first to see where we stand?
You already did, and Katie abstained, or Katie voted no.
Okay.
Everyone else voted yes. At least that's what I heard.
Not everyone, I didn't vote.
Oh, you didn't vote, Molly?
Yeah.
Can you let me know how you would have voted, or can I record your vote, or were you abstaining?
I like this one that's up now better than the one that was shown
Okay,
and voted on.
so yeah, when I record in the minutes, the first vote, should I say that you and Katie opposed the initial vote?
No, just that I abstained.
That you abstained, okay. Thank you.
I think now I want to change my vote.
Yeah, me too.
Okay,
You said I made the motion.
why doesn't somebody make a motion to void the previous vote and instead recommend the original design?
Okay, I'll do that.
Someone want a second?
I will second. This is Katie.
Katie seconds. So the motion is to reject the current design and go with the previous choice number one. Is that right? All in
Yes.
favor, say aye.
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 I
Opposed?
Nay.
No.
Who opposed?
Me?
Me.
Sounds like
Um,
Michelle and Rob.
I opposed it because I think this looks more like a sign with less graphics. But it doesn't matter. As long as we just get this done, I'm fine with either. But I don't like this design as well. So I don't want to agree with it. But you all voted, so
You can vote no too. This is a democracy.
I'm good with
So-
whatever you decide. But I don't like this.
Okay.
I know the feeling, Michelle. It's like,
I
I'm
know.
fine, I'm fine.
Well, and we just discussed this at the last meeting and went through all of this, and so that's why I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah, I don't like this one.
I wasn't part of the last meeting, so I wasn't sure what all was discussed. I did look at the minutes, but one of the things that, because I'm on their Instagram page, because like I'm looking at all their work, and what I love about their work is are their colors. The use of multicolors. They use it in a lot of their work, and especially the ones that are heavy with typography. It's just bright and colorful. And when I think of Love Your Neighbor, I don't think of these gold stars. It feels very traditional to me. I think of bright and rainbow and color and just all encompassing. Because for me, neighbors, you know, it just encompass a broad group of people. So it just feels, I'm wondering what it would look like if that star on the right side with all those dots and all those decorative elements had color, like if they were multicolored. That is what I'm thinking. I wonder if it would add, perhaps that's why it feels a little more too simple, because the gold color doesn't feel exciting to me. Color brings excitement to me, and that red in the background is not a paint, like you said, it's actually the wall. So at first I was thinking, well, maybe multicolor would look too bad on that red, but it's actually just the natural color of the walls. It might look different. I'm just wondering what it would look like with the colors that they actually use, which are multicolor.
But that would exceed our budget by quite a bit, I would guess.
It's just changing, instead of gold, you just do a different color. It's not adding graphics or anything like that.
I see. Okay. Just a different color than gold.
Yeah, and I think it's a very easy mock-up. Like they literally just fill that shape with a different color just to see what it would look like. I could do it in 5 minutes to see what it would look like.
It might solve the biblical issue.
Could we get it all approved in time for, I mean, we'd have to have another meeting to approve the change, I would guess.
Yeah, that's the only problem.
And I'm not sure we get it, if we did that, we could get it done yet this fall.
Last week was there discussion about the actual Roman candle sign and where it was going and how it would interact with this?
I can't remember if we talked about it in the meeting, but the original prospect was for Roman Candle to put their sign right here, and it was going to crowd the mural. And Brewer, after he saw the mural design, he decided that he didn't want to take up any of the space for the mural. So he instead is putting his sign back where, he's putting it back where it was previously, if I understand correctly. He's either putting it up here in the brown part, or he's putting it on the corner cantilevered, and I'm pretty sure he's putting it on the corner cantilevered. We signed off on his sign permit application.
So that's one reason why I feel like the colors as they stand might be the best choice, because his sign's going to go right there also with those colors. Although I see Maria's point. I guess it won't be the same. I guess if it's on the corner angled out, you won't be looking at the two at the same time.
Okay, so I just pulled up his sign proposal that he had sent over. And actually the location of the sign that our associate planner signed off on is right up here in this area. And it is cardinal red and like kind of a pale yellow. I just forwarded it to myself in an email, so let's see if I can pull it up here for you all to see. I don't think my email is refreshing here. Oh, there we go. Okay, so not there. It was, Daphne said it was option B, so it's this version here.
Okay, so it's less coordinated than I expected, so I retract my statement.
Maria, what color do you imagine the stars being? If we could just ask them to do it without even, if we get settled on a color, do we have to make them wait for another meeting?
You're
Oh,
muted.
yeah, sorry, you're on mute.
Still muted.
There we
Can
go.
I play around with it for 5 minutes and then I can show you? As you guys
Yeah.
keep talking? Is that okay?
Sure.
Sounds good.
Okay.
I'm so sorry. I have to leave, you guys. I only had a half hour for our evening's meeting. Is that going to ruin your quorum?
I think we're okay for quorum, Christina.
Okay.
Can you tell us what you think before you go?
Yeah, Christina, tell us.
I hear both sides. I don't actually feel strongly enough one way or the other that I would have a problem with whatever you guys decide on. I kind of liked the one that they had revised and sent us that we kind of voted on originally with all the extra bits. I liked that one better without the downtown Middleton text. Like if you
I
strike
like
that.
it too.
But I hear what we're saying. I understand the concerns that we're having. So I'm not worried if it goes the other way. This is my preference for this one without that yellow text on it.
Mine too.
Okay.
Thanks, Christina. Have a good night.
Sorry, I'm
Thank
sorry to
you.
leave you. Sorry. Good luck. I can't wait to hear what we decide.
Another question while Maria's working on that is, what role does Brewer play in approving this if we go with a design that he hasn't seen yet?
I think he's gonna be fine as long as it's pretty close to what was originally approved. I think we're getting too, we have too many cooks in the kitchen here. And I think he'll support it as long as it's pretty close to what was discussed at the last meeting. I don't think he would need to get into the details of it. Like you guys could make enough changes that I would need to take it back to the plan commission and then back to the CDA and back to the DMBA. And I mean, this could go on forever. So I would rather that the arts committee just make a decision and we go with that.
Now, we had a vote to approve this version that we're looking at now without the text underneath. Did we rescind that vote?
No, so what happened is, and please, I do want clarification that I have this recorded correctly for the minutes, and make sure that I understand who voted in favor, who voted against, and who abstained. So the first recommendation was moved by Meg and seconded by Maria to accept this design, but without the yellow text below. And Katie Nelson was opposed and Molly McDermott abstained, and the rest of you voted in the affirmative. Then there was another recommendation moved by Meg, seconded by Katie, to void the first vote and instead to recommend the original design. And I believe that Rob and Michelle were opposed to that and that everyone else voted in the affirmative. Is that correct?
Yes, I think so.
Molly, did you vote on that one?
Molly, did you vote to support the original design, this one?
I think so.
Oh, great. Sorry, my fault.
Well, we have, I mean, there is a motion that has been approved. To go with the original concept.
I think we're just waiting for Maria, right?
Oh, yeah.
She's
2
working,
minutes.
she's working her magic over there.
The challenge is, will the plan commission object to, if we make these changes unilaterally?
Yeah, I don't think you've changed it enough that, I mean, for the time being, the recommendation is this, and this is what the plan commission saw and approved. So I'm not worried about that.
Mhm. I
But
totally get what Maria's talking about, because that's when I originally brought this project I emailed Abby and Rob, I think, originally. And I was thinking something very vibrant because that's what they do. But when we looked at locations and the artist came out, they really wanted to use this whole wall. And so when they used the whole wall, we ran out of funds basically to do anything really fun, so it does end up becoming more signage versus mural, which is kind of unfortunate, but we just don't have enough money. And so I think what we decided in the end was that we wanted to at least get something up there. So we decided to focus on the wording so that we could still have a mural. I know it's not as bright and colorful as most of their work, but maybe this is just the first project that we do with them, and we'll find a smaller wall that we can really make a larger splash on down the road.
Yeah, that sounds good. And is this something that we could add color to over time? This very one?
Possibly. I don't know if we actually would, but yeah, I would imagine that you could always expand it if we had extra funds.
Okay, I'm gonna email it to Abby.
Or do you want me to stop share and you can share, Maria?
Oh, sure. Okay. Okay, but it's very rough. I just had a little bit of color. So I do, where is my share? Oh, here we go. Green button. I don't know if you guys, can you guys see it?
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Way to go. Quick work.
Wow, pretty.
I just wanted to make it a little more bright. I mean, these don't have to be the colors, but it's just to give them an idea that to add it.
So that it's just not yellow only, so that there are other
Yeah.
things.
Yeah, I love it. What does that do to the budget?
I would think that because it's the same element, that it probably shouldn't blow the budget. What do you think, Maria? You're an artist who does projects for commission.
I don't think it will. I mean, usually, I think the elements are so small that I don't think it makes much of a difference. If more elements were those colors, I think it would make a difference, but they're very small. Maybe, yeah. So I don't think it would add too much of anything.
It's gonna be less paint than the last version with the downtown Middleton line,
Yeah.
because that was a lot of paint.
Good point.
Yeah. So instead of using yellow, they're going to use maybe turquoise, a little bit of yellow. So it's adding maybe a couple, 2 to 3 more colors, but they would be sample size, like very small colors, which I'm assuming they already have because they work with so much color. They could probably use leftover colors from one of their previous projects.
Yep.
Katie, do you think this helps with does it make it less biblical to you?
Completely.
Okay.
I really love it. How do you guys feel?
Looks good.
I like it.
So we need a motion to approve Maria's version.
I will move that we take Maria's edits and approve it as she has presented.
With the understanding that the colors might not be exactly those that she's shown.
Right.
They
Yes.
can pick any colors that they think look appropriate, right? Is that
Sure.
correct?
Right.
Just not gold, not all gold.
Okay. So Katie made a motion.
We need a second.
I can second it.
So Meg seconds.
I do think, I will add this, I do think that with these changes, you're gonna wanna at least show this mock-up to Brewer.
Okay, I'll do that.
Just
Abby, I just
so that he
emailed you.
knows, because he hasn't seen this version with extra colors, and it is still, well, it's not his building, I guess, but he somehow runs the building.
It's his.
It is his, okay.
Mhm. Okay.
So we have a
I'll
mo-
copy him on the email that I send to the artist team.
But we still need to vote, right?
Yes.
So all in favor of the changes suggested by Maria, but left to the artist's discretion to what those colors should be, say aye.
Aye.
Hi.
Aye. Opposed? So I guess it's unanimous.
Wow, good work.
See, all these cooks can perform together.
Third time's the charm.
Way to go, Maria.
Nice work.
All my stuff needs color. But I like.
You know what's funny, Maria, is that your friend Janine, one of the first times I heard about you was her telling me that she can't put color in her house because she doesn't know how. And she said, I wish I was like my friend Maria. Her house is so colorful and it all looks so nice together. So you really
I call
proved
it.
you proved your knowledge of color tonight.
I call it eclectic modern.
I love it.
We're going with it.
All right, guys, anything else?
I think that's it. Somebody want to make a motion to adjourn?
Sure, I'll
So
make
moved. I'll second.
Okay.
Motions, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Hi.
Okay, great. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you all.
Have a good night.
I think it'll be much better this way, I think.
I
Yes.
think so too. Thanks.
Bye,
Bye-bye.
everybody.
Don't
Bye.
forget to watch the debate.